The hip thrust is the #1 exercise if you want to build your glutes, but you need to be able to do it right. So today I'm going to be showing you from A to Z everything you need to know in order to master that lovely hip thrust for your glutes and grow that massive peach of yours. Before we start, don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you want me to create the perfect plan for you, link in bio. The first mistake that people make is right with this. The first piece of equipment recruited for the hip thrust is a bench. And a lot of you are already making it wrong. The problem is a lot of you, my loves, are a little shorties. I'm a little bit shorty as well. There is nothing wrong with that. However, something is wrong when you're using the wrong piece of equipment like this. What happens is, when you're doing a hip thrust, you want your back to rest perfectly onto it, okay? Perfection needs to be perfecto. However, some benches are too high for you. What does it mean? You see that for me, like you can see from there, just make sure you keep your eyes on me, okay? Look at my back, okay? In order for me to climb on it, I have to use my elbows, okay? And position myself, lift myself up, and then be perfectly positioned. We don't want to do this. Why do we not want to do this? Because when you start lifting heavier weights, and you have to, how are you gonna, if you have a heavy back, and you have to first climb and then start doing the movement, that's gonna be impossible. Okay? So we want something that we can get on it nice and easy without having to struggle or climb the mountain. For this reason, we're taking into consideration another instrument that can be found in the gym, aka a box. Ta-da! Okay, so as you can see, this is the bench, and this is the difference. There is about 1 to 2 inches differences that can seem like nothing, but wait, for demonstration purposes, look how much easier it will be now for me to get on top. We have our lovely box over here, okay? Watch my back, okay? See where this is resting exactly at the level of my bra strap, or if you want to be more technical and smarter, at the bottom of your scapula. And look how much easier it is for me to climb up without having to climb the Mount Everest. See how easy it is? Nice and easy, so I don't have to like use my elbow, work my elbow to the way up, okay? It's nice and easy. However, this comes, so we decided, we tested, so that #1 is testing the right height of the instrument that we're gonna use, the box, okay? Second thing is where we're gonna put the box, because we can't just use the box in the middle of the gym. And I'll tell you why, because when you do this and have weight, look, the box move, and we cannot risk this, which leads to tip #2. This is not more like a tip, but more like common sense, to be honest. Place the box against a surface like a wall or anything stable that can support your weight and the weight that you're gonna add on top of yourself. So the next thing that I want you to learn is the crucial thing to master hip thrust. The next thing that I want you to learn is how to tuck your pelvis in. Now, this is not actually necessary for every single person because there are different types of hip thrust, but the one that I want to teach you is so that it's safer for your back, okay? I always explain to my one-to-one online coaching clients, this is a little comparison so that it's easy for you to understand. Imagine that you're a bee, okay? So instead of sticking your bum out like a lot of people do, and we all need to do that sometimes, you know, like to just show off the gains. I don't want you to do that when we're actually doing hip thrust. I want you to do exactly the opposite thing. So I want you to tuck actually your pelvis in and to squeeze your glutes inwards like you want to kind of like sort of hide them. And I say to my clients, imagine yourself that you're like a bee, okay? And you want to sting someone. You see your ex, you want to sting it, okay? So what want you to do, what do the bees do? You have to tilt your pelvis in. You have like the little thing that sticks out. What do you think, the stingy thing? I can't think of it. I know in Italian it's called pungiglione, but anyway. So you want to imagine that you're a bee and you want to sting someone. That way, you're basically tucking your pelvis in and you're doing exactly the opposite way. So look, I want you to look at me and see. This is me standing straight, okay? This is me sticking it out, sticking the bum out like I'm throwing it back at the club. And this is me tucking my pelvis in. So standing normal, tucking my pelvis in. And I want you to emulate this movement when you're doing a hip thrust and coming the way up. The next thing is understanding where to put your feet, right? Positioning your feet will make a huge difference in whether you will target either your glutes, your hamstrings, or quads. So the general cue for this, after you first of all position it nice and easy against the platform, I want you to look at your knee. Take it as a point of reference with your finger and bring your heels closed to it. Same thing with the other foot, okay? and voila, this is the most generic formula that you can use. And if you're a beginner and you've never done hip thrust, I want you to test different things, okay? I want you to test distance with the knee, okay? This little trick. See if you can feel it in your glutes. Or, because there is such things as genetics, some people will work better with different foot positioning. So maybe try and play with your foot stance a bit. So another time, try maybe like distancing it a little bit more, okay? See if you feel it more. Or maybe trying to bring it a little bit closer and see if you feel it more. Play with it, how narrow or how wide your feet are. Because the thing is, some people can have longer limbs than others, etc. So it's really important you really take this into account. Now, the other thing is, now that we know what box to use, how to position our feet, etc., we can actually go straight into the movement. Well, I want you to lift your pelvis up towards the ceiling. Remember to pretend that you're a bee, okay? So, B power, okay? Tuck your pelvis in and squeeze your glutes as you come up. This will allow as well to prevent you from having any lower back pain. So the other thing that I want you to do that will help you tons when it comes to feeling it in your glutes is to actually do this little trick, like it's honestly, but it's so good. I want you to tuck your chin in, okay? So when you come up, instead of having your head like that, okay, I want you to have it tucked in and look forward the whole time, squeezing your glute. Remember, don't go too high, because if you go too high, then you start having lower back pain. A lot of people, they say they have a lower back pain is because they go a little bit too high. So you don't need to. So actually, tuck your pelvis in, look forward the whole time. That is basically you having the hip thrust already. It's basically already done. So again, let's go very quickly so that you don't get confused. So our back needs to be nice and just where our strap is. So it needs to be against a box that is comfortable enough for us. Then the next thing is our knee as a point of reference. Nice and easy. Remember to tuck your pelvis in and look chin down and look forward the whole time. Squeezing those glutes and then going down. Squeezing your glutes, and voila, that is you doing a hip thrust. Now, how do we progress with weight? Now it's time to progress to the bar. How do we do it? So if you're a beginner, first of all, I recommend as well starting to practice with dumbbells, because that's much easier to manage. But if you're ready to graduate, you feel comfortable with the dumbbells, you say, you know what, I'm brave today, I want to try the barbell. You can actually start with, gyms normally will have different heights, okay? If they don't, it's fine, just use any barbell you can find. But if you have the option to use a smaller bar, I actually recommend picking the smaller bar, just because it will be a little bit easier to manage for you. Okay, so obviously the next thing, since obviously we're using barbell, we're obviously going to use plates, right? Because we have to need to add more weight. Unless you want to just start with the barbell, which is obviously fine if you want to just get used to the movement, etc. But if you want to start putting weight, I want to show you one important thing. Okay, so these are the same weight. This is a 10 kg plate, this is a 10 kg plate. But what's the difference? Let's see, Dora the Explorer, between these two plates. Obviously this 10 kg plate is bigger, and I want you to always go for the biggest plate, okay? So now I know that not all gyms will have that, but if you have the chance and if you can choose, I always recommend you using the tallest weight instead of the shortest one. Why? Because when you have using the hip thrust, okay, and you have a tall plate, you can easily roll it and manage it more easily. If it's something shorter instead, okay, you'll have to try instead and lift it over, and it just becomes a little bit more complicated. Even so, okay, so even some people don't have access to the big plates and they can only use small plates, there is a trick that you can actually put into place to even use it. So for example, you can have 2 plates on each side, okay? Let me just grab another one. Perfect. So now let's say you have your big weight. Obviously, let's clip them. I'm not gonna clip them because this is a demo weight, okay? So I don't have to worry about it. And then this is only a trick. You have to use plates on the side only if, for example, you struggle to put this on top, that you can't, the shorter plates or anything like that, because that will help you elevate it. Look, so all you have to do is just roll it on top of this, and it's already have a ton of more space, okay? Of course, always remember to use the padding, like so. And remember what we learned. The same thing, the same principle applies when you have weight on. So you adjust your feet, you grab both extremities over the bar, you keep looking forward with the chin tucked in, and remember to be a bee, okay? Tuck your pelvis in, squeeze as hard as you can, and release down. Squeeze as hard as you can and release down. Now that we've learned all the basics about hip thrust, I want to show you different little variations that you can do, just to switch it up a bit and to make it even harder and spicier. We love a spicy glute workout, don't you? If you want me to create a personalized plan for you with the variations that work for you, link down below. So now you mastered the hip thrust, I want to show you the different variations that you can also apply very quickly. So the first one is calf glute bridges. You might have heard or seen it on TikTok or Instagram. So basically this is exactly very similar to the hip thrust. However, the range of motion is slightly shorter so that you can focus on your glutes more. So instead of going all the way down so that your bum touches the floor, you just stop halfway. That's it, that's simple as. And you do it as normal. Okay, now the next variation that can be very tough but very good is a single leg variation. Like the word say, it's a single leg variation and it works exactly the same. The only thing is instead of tucking your chin in and looking forward, I want you to look up, okay? No the rule with the chin and anything like that. So all the way. So the eye gaze follows the movement the whole time. If you get tired with this leg, you can also place it on top and you can use any weight you like with it. You can use your dumbbell, your barbell, whatever you like. Go all the way down and then look up. Now, the next variation is called the B stance, okay, or Stugger. What does it mean? B stance means that no bottom of the feet are gonna be flat on the floor. One is gonna be slightly elevated. To elevate that, you can either do it like so and just simply elevate it like I'm showing you here, or if you struggle a bit, you can also use a plate to elevate it, so you don't have to keep it elevated all the time, but the plate of course it will force you to keep it elevated, right? So work exactly the same, okay? Work with the stance but the foot slightly elevated, and this will help you put more emphasis on one side rather than the other, and it's great to isolate each side, okay? So same thing. You can also play with your stance if you don't feel it as much. For example, you can push it a little bit more away, etc. So this is very good to isolate, like I said, each side of the time. But there are so many different ways to do hip thrusts or calf glute bridges. There is the glute bridge where you would do directly on the floor, okay? So you start the movement from being on the floor. Remember the same thing about tucking your pelvis in, it's always valid, okay? And you push your hips towards the ceiling like so, and you can do it as well holding a dumbbell, a barbell, etc. But you can also do the hip thrust variation, for example, on the Smith machine. There is so many different ways and I encourage you to try different ways and see what works best for you. Familia, now I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe because I always share so many tips with you and so much useful information that you owe me at least a like and subscribe, okay? Anyway, if you want me to coach you, as always, link down below, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Love you and leave your familia.